I feel like once cat owners start realizing that their cats are in four walls and it really is boring and it really is unenriched, that all it takes is just that little shift in mindset and the opportunities just start exploding.
Welcome to the Kitty Cat Go Adventure podcast, where we discuss various topics related to cat adventure, travel, training, and enrichment. I'm your host, Emily Hall, cat trainer and cat adventure enthusiast. Join me as I share my own tips and advice and chat with the experts to help and encourage you to give your cat the best life possible. Remember, no adventure is too big or too small. I can't wait to learn, grow, and explore with you. Today, I am chatting with veterinarian Lynn Bahr about the benefits of adventuring with cats, the importance of mental and physical stimulation, and other indoor enrichment activities for cats. Dr. Bahr is a 1991 graduate from the University of Georgia College of Veterinary Medicine. She credits a special gray and white ball of kitten fluff to lead her down the path of a career in feline medicine and behavior. Helping to strengthen the human-animal bond is her life's mission and guiding force, and her areas of interest and special care for felines include health and wellness, environmental enrichment, hospice, and ending the practice of declawing. Dr. Bahr is currently the CEO of Desi & Rue, a company that designs, manufactures, and sells enrichment products that enhance the lives of cats and their owners. Dr. Bahr was the recipient of the 2018 Pet Age Woman of Influence Award and serves on the board of directors of Pandemonium Aviaries, Society of Veterinary Medical Ethics, Fear Free Advisory Board, Alley Cat Allies Task Force, and is on the cat committee of the Pet Professional Guild. Dr. Bahr is the co-author of Indoor Cats, How to Enrich Their Lives and Expand Their World, which we'll be talking about later, a book dedicated to helping pet parents keep their cats happy and healthy while indoors. Hi, Lynn.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. I am excited to dig into this tonight and hear your thoughts and opinions on adventuring with cats and enrichment ideas, because I know you are full of them. Lynn, I know I just read your bio, so people know a bit about you already, but what else can you tell us about yourself and what you do and your passions?
Well, I live in Marietta, Georgia. I'm married with one grown son. I have two cats at the moment, Desi and Rue. I worked as a veterinarian for 30 years. I've been retired for the past 5 and started Desi and Rue, a company that was born out of need, seeing indoor cats enclosed in 4 walls and not a lot of pet products. The pet product industry really hasn't focused on cats until very recently. There's been a lack of enrichment products, and I had, saw the need through working with my patients. Environmental enrichment contributes to good health. And so many of the medical issues that cats have, what is the cure for it, or how do you treat it? And that's environmental enrichment. The big one that we all know about is cystitis. Cats that have a problem with stress, and environmental enrichment has been shown to really improve their life. So I just changed my focus from medical to more environmental now. And through my company, I feel like I can reach a larger audience and I can help more cats. I never knew in the exam room that there was this huge world of cat people out there that were hungry for information and ideas and things like that. And once I found out that there was, now I feel like I'm really doing a lot more for the feline community on a much bigger scale.
Yeah, I love that. And I mean, it's so clear that your heart is in what you do. And I'm excited to hear more about that as we go through. So You touched a little bit on how environmental enrichment can affect your cat's health and well-being. Can you expand on that a little bit? Like, what is the importance of mental and physical stimulation for cats?
Well, I'll back up a second. When I first started in my career, actually, it was my cat, Rudolph, a little ball of fluff that I actually grew up a dog person, and I still love my dogs. I've always had dogs until recently, but Rudolph spoke to me and changed my life. Since then, whenever I talk to people, I found out that animals change people's lives. Like, I'll give lectures and ask how many people's lives have been changed by an animal, and 90 to 95% raise their hands. They're incredible creatures, and so I listen to cats, and I just kind of instinctually gravitated towards them. I feel like I really know cats. I'm really in tune with them. When I started my career, most of my patients were outside. I mean, back in the day, I'm not going to give my age away, but I'm 60 plus. People put their cats out at night.
Yeah.
Something we would never do now. We know that that's not right, but that was the life of a cat. And then they transitioned to indoor outdoor, and recently, in the past 15 years or so, we've moved towards exclusively indoor cats. And I saw in the exam room a big difference in the types of diseases and ailments that I was treating. When cats were going outside, we were doing a lot of cat abscesses, a lot of feline leukemia, parasites, things like that. Everybody thought that putting cats indoors and keeping them exclusively indoors would, eliminate all of that. They'd live longer lives, be healthier, and so on. And that's not the truth. Indoors, there's just so many stresses of confinement that we have a whole set of other problems. We have all the itises. We have cystitis and pancreatitis and stomatitis and IBD, which is an itis, inflammatory bowel disease. That we just went from one set of problems to a whole different set of problems, and the problems have not disappeared. So that has sort of guided where I've gone in treating animals and treating them on a whole. We've gone from one extreme to another, with the cats being totally outdoors to now being totally indoors. And I feel like it's my current mission to come to a middle point and to have it be more gray than black and white, and to use my voice to get out there to really start letting people in on this thing that it's not one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
That while indoors is great in some ways, it's not the end all of end all. It's not the greatest, best thing for cats ever. It's as simple as, I start out with cats need fresh air, direct sunlight, and grass. It is as simple as that. If you have an indoor only cat, but you're providing them with fresh air, direct sunlight, and grass, that cat is probably going to be a lot happier and healthier. I just don't, I don't subscribe 100% all of the time for every cat to be an indoor only kitty, never to step foot outside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, one of the ways that those of us who have indoor cats can provide our cats with the sun and the fresh air and the grass is by harness and leash adventures. Do you think that that's a good and safe way for cats to experience the outdoors?
I think it's certainly one of the good ways. I think there's a large variety of ways. It's as simple as just opening up windows. If that's all somebody can do, at least that fresh air. Nobody has really looked at or delved into the impact of an indoor only environment. I'll take something as simple as this fresh air. Cats that live indoors smell just what we're cooking, what we're cleaning with, what's inside the house, what candles you're burning, what things you're putting on your body. They never experience fresh air, the smells from outside, the cleansing of fresh air, not the stale, dry air constantly inside. And it's little things like that that have not been talked about, haven't been looked at. And there's a lot of myths out there. I know you'll get to it later. I wrote a book, Indoor Cat. And in the book, we dispel lots of myths that are being perpetuated over and over again that is actually to the detriment of cats. The biggest one being that indoor cats live longer. Ask any group of cat owners and say, how many believe that indoor cats live longer? And, the majority will raise their hand. Of course. Well, the truth of the matter is that's not true. It's a myth. The studies were done on feral cats, and a feral cat outdoors is only going to live about 2 years. A male cat, unneutered, lifespan is approximately 2 years. They're born with parasites. They've never been treated for internal parasites. They get feline leukemia, viruses. Unneutered males fight. They get abscesses. They live a short life.
Yeah.
Compared to indoor cats, yes, that is true. But until recently this year, there was never a study that looked at owned indoor-outdoor cats' lifespan versus indoor only. And owned cats that go in and out, that go to the vet, that have owners that feed them, that have owners that love them and take them and get medical care, and they come in at night, live just as long, if not longer, than indoor-only kitties. So I don't know, I cannot find the source of where we really started the indoor cat push, other than to look at companies like the litter companies and the pet food companies. It is most definitely to their benefit to promote an indoor-only lifestyle. I just think that it's time to start opening that door up again. And like you said, with leash walking and harness training, that's one wonderful way. But there's lots of others. In my book, I have a window unit that you can build for under $30 in less than an hour, just to let your cat, open the window and be outside and get direct sunlight. I have a really nice deck outside of my house, and we have netting around the deck so the cats can go out on the deck. There's catias. There's many people who live in safe environments where their cat can actually go out somewhat free roaming. I don't ever propose that cats you should just open the door and let your cat out. That would be ridiculous. I think of them as 2-year-old kids, and you would not let your 2-year-old go play in the front yard while you cook dinner.
Yeah.
But you can safely go out with your cat. And I was thinking about it the other day when we moved into this house here. The first thing we did was fence in our yard for the dogs. Most people do that when they have dogs. They put up dog fence. There's cat-proof fencing. And yet I don't know if anybody has put in that cat-proof fencing.
Yeah.
So we need to start talking about how to get cats outside. I believe that the majority of cats should not be living exclusively within 4 walls, unless you live in a high rise, or unless you live in an area that's right there on a highway, or it's really unsafe in your neighborhood. Then certainly they should not be outside. But most of us got our cats from the outside. And we don't give cats enough credit that they're quite smart and they know how to survive. I was thinking back about my days in vet school and back in the day when I got Rudolph, and Rudolph moved around with me at 10 different apartments in 10 years.
Wow.
I was in my 20s. I didn't know any better. We would move. I'd open the door. I'd let Rudolph out. He'd roam. He lived to be 16 years old. We didn't think about it back then.
Yeah.
I have 2 indoor-only kitties now. Mine are exclusively indoors besides, the deck and the catio and so on. I've slowly bought into this fear of, "Oh my gosh, what's gonna happen if they go outside?" You know, but in thinking back, cats used to be able to go outside.
Yeah, I think you made an interesting point about how it's so normal for people to fence in the yards for their dogs. Just like it's so
Mhm.
normal people take their dogs for walks and
Right.
take their dogs out to the park and do all these activities with their dogs, and cats somehow always get the short end of the stick in that area. And I just think like you, my passion
Mhm.
and mission is to try to change that in some
Mhm.
way and m- help people realize, cats need that environmental enrichment too. Like you said, the fresh
Right.
air, the sunlight. We have a catio because not all my cats like to go out on harness and leash,
Mhm.
and so they have the catio, and we have screens on our windows so we can open the windows when the weather is nice. And um, you know, yeah, I look forward to the day when cats get the
Mhm.
same considerations that
Mhm.
dogs do.
I think, when you mention, like, why don't they, um, dogs are not allowed to roam loose,
Yeah.
and it is not beneficial for dogs to roam loose. They're not quite as savvy with cars and their territory and so on, and they do go in packs, and so dogs can't. And I think that cats had always been outside and always in and out. That when people have dogs, they do put that fence in for the dog, but don't think about the cat because normally the cats always were outside anyways, and they were able to roam free and go about. Now there are, stronger laws about cats not free roaming. We have neighbors that may not like cats in their yard or, taunting their indoor cats and so on. But cat fencing is a wonderful alternative. It's no more expensive than putting in a fence for a dog,
Yeah.
and you're right. People should really start thinking about it more.
Yeah. Yeah, so, why why do you think sort of going to the harness and leash outdoor adventure? Because
Mhm.
that's the area that I'm focused on with
Mhm.
Kitty Cat Go, and I unfortunately hear from a lot of people that when their vets find out that they take their cats out, even on a harness and leash, that some vets advise against it and they don't agree with
Mhm.
it. And
Mm.
that surprises me. And as a vet yourself, I'm curious, like, why do you think that is? Why would some vets caution against harness and leashed outdoor adventures?
I can only guess at this because it's never been my mindset. But a good majority of vets don't know cats. There's lots of veterinarians who don't really like cats. Um, they're scared to treat them. It's dangerous to treat cats. If you don't read a cat right, they're not as amenable as dogs. Cats don't walk into the clinic wagging their tails, jumping all over you and licking your face. Um, so I think many veterinarians, it's difficult as a veterinarian. We are trained on all species.
Yeah.
And so it's very difficult to get really good at one, which is why I always advise people to find a feline only veterinarian, because at least there you have a veterinarian who's training and studying and keeping up on everything just feline. And so they would be a little bit more amenable to it. I think they probably say it because it's a foreign idea to them. They probably think, oh, like, you must be some kind of wacko or something if you think you're going to put your cat on a leash and
Yeah.
walk them. And like, why would you do that? So part of it is just lack of knowledge. And the other thing about veterinarians, as in almost any trade, we spew what we're taught. And one of the things I learned after I got out of vet school that I realized while in vet school, you are so grateful to be there. You are so, it's tough to get into vet school and the curriculum is difficult. And it's a passion that most every student has had their entire life. This is all they've ever wanted to do. So you get there and you just do what they tell you. And you listen to everything that they say and you spew it back just like they want it. It never dawned on me in vet school to like question things.
Yeah.
It just, they told us to feed one food and one food only and never switch food. And if you do, you're going to upset their stomach. And then we go out into practice and we tell people just feed one food and one food only and never switch up. And a couple of years of doing that, I thought, why? Like, I never asked why.
Yeah.
And what if I didn't do that and so on? And so I really don't fault veterinarians for it. I just think it's a lack of knowledge and a lack
Yeah.
of really just understanding and questioning and, bucking the norms a little bit.
Yeah. 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 That makes sense. Because I know just like from as I run into just regular people, not veterinarians, but as I'm
Mhm.
out walking my cats or, going on adventures with them, so many people that I run into are surprised and to see cats on a
Mhm.
leash because it's not commonplace. I mean, as much as
Right.
I would love it to be, it's not, right? And so I guess a lot of the surprise and questions and stuff, they come from a place of ignorance. And I don't mean that in like a negative way.
Mhm.
They just don't know, right? They've never seen it. It's new to them. And I suppose that's true for veterinarians too.
Right. Absolutely. Um, we're getting better and there are more people, as you probably know, you've got a great following group that are starting to do it and get into it. And as more and more people see that, then it will be start to become more commonplace.
Yeah. Yeah. So along these same lines, I just had a comment. Sonia said that there are
Mhm.
shelters and rescues who say they won't let you adopt a cat
Mhm.
unless assure them they're going to be indoor only, and that includes even leash walking, and
Mhm.
that's so unfortunate.
It is super unfortunate. I was getting ready to tell you a story recently. We have a lake house that has been. It's in Georgia, and we have a lot of cats that get dumped there. And recently, there's two cats that I don't know where they came from, but they're there. And I am close with the Humane Society in that county, contribute a lot to them. And I called them up and said, would you do me a favor? It's 2 hours away from where I live. I said, there's two cats there, and would you please trap them for me? I would like to do some TNR with them, pay for it, everything like that, so on. And they said, of course we would. If they're friendly, though, we would rather adopt them out through the Humane Society than to release them. And so they've actually caught both the kitties, and they're not feral, they're a little bit friendly. But they have a rule that you have to keep cats indoors. And so now the big dilemma is I'm going to have two more cats until I can find a home for these two, because they have lived and existed. They're in great health. They don't have feline leukemia. They don't have FIV. They are very healthy looking. They're happy cats. And I don't want them adopted out into a home that keeps them indoor only.
Yeah.
These are adult kitties who are used to exploring. They're used to going wherever they want. They have survived this long on their own. And I think it would be extremely cruel if they were put in a situation like that. And it is part of my crusade to really get to humane societies through my book and through my talks to start to reevaluate this indoor only. I mean, owners, we should have enough respect for them that they're going to love their animal enough to do the right thing by them. And if you happen to have a home, as many people do, with big yards and space between houses and cul-de-sacs where there's relatively few problems with letting your cat out, why would that cat not be allowed out? And why aren't owners allowed to make that decision on their own? So I agree. It's a huge problem. Like I said, it's gone from black to white with no gray area whatsoever in between, and that's harmful.
Are you a cat adventurer looking for ways to strengthen that bond between you and your cat? New cat enrichment ideas? And encouragement and inspiration to explore the world together? Bond with your cat like never before by joining Kitty Cat Go Trailblazers, a community of cats and humans from all over the world who are ready and waiting to support and encourage you on your cat adventure journey. Over in Trailblazers, you'll find monthly challenges and activities designed to give you fresh ideas of things to do and new ways to explore with your cat, both indoors and outdoors. You'll also be able to connect face-to-face with other community members during our monthly Zoom chats. Trailblazers is made up of cat adventurers of all experience levels who are all ready to share in your victories and struggles and to help you and your cat reach your goals. You'll find yourself right at home amongst your tribe. Learn more at kittycatgo.com/trailblazers. Like you mentioned, a good alternative is cat fences. I have someone asking about cat fences. Alex says she'd love to hear more about them. What do they look like?
So they can go on existing fences or they can be put up immediately, but it just attaches and goes down like this. It just has bars that go like this, so the cat can't get up and over. And just Google cat fence. There's several companies that do it, but like I said, you can put it on existing fences, and it has attachments. It just puts it on, or you can buy the whole fencing itself. But it's just kind of an arm like that.
Kind of like an overhang. Yeah.
So if the cat can't, it's too high for the cat to jump over, but a cat can climb a fence.
Yeah.
When they climb the fence, they get to here.
Gotcha.
There's no way they can get back over.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And so, there's strollers, there's leashes and harnesses, there's, like I said, when I had Rudolph, I used to take a chair outside and read, and Rudolph would be out there with me. He and I used to take walks all the time. And this was 40 years ago, way before leashes and harnesses, but they're smart. They'll come with you. I mean, anybody with a cat in their house, when they call their cat, they know your cat will come. And people can train cats from an early age, clicker training to come to them. Years ago, when I was first in practice, I used to teach people, we used to have can openers, and cats were very conditioned to the sound of a can opener.
Yes.
We don't have that anymore with the pop tops, but I would condition people, I would tell people how to condition their cat with the can opener to get their cat to come home, and to feed every day at 4:00 or 4:30 so that their cat got accustomed to getting that canned food at that time, so that they were outside during the day. They would be home at 4:30 for their food, and then you keep them in at night and don't let them out till after sunrise. I think back to when I was a child. We would come home from school, we'd have a snack, we'd do our homework, and then we were gone until dinner time.
Yeah.
It was before cell phones. My parents didn't know where we were at, but we were home at dinner, and that was the rule. I don't even think kids do that anymore. You're too scared to let the kid go out, but we've become too fear-based, and we're not giving cats credit enough that they can go out safely in a variety of ways, and you can be a good parent. I equate it to, everybody does it for the safety factor, and yet if you have a teenager who is 16 years old about to get their license, you're putting your child in a death trap by letting them go and drive. And yet nobody thinks about that. They make sure their child has, driving lessons, that they're safe, that they get their license, that they put a seatbelt on, they buy the safest car they can get for them, and they let them go and drive. We're so fear-based that we're keeping these cats as these little China dolls in our four walls, fear to let them do anything at all or be like a cat.
Yeah. Yeah. So another alternative to outside that I know some people do, and a viewer, Terry, is asking about, is that some people tether their cats outside and then leave them unattended like they would a dog.
I would never do that.
Okay. What are the dangers of that? Like, why would you?
Huge dangers. A dog comes along, how's that cat going to get away?
Yeah.
And when any animal gets tangled in a wire or anything like that, they don't know to loosen up, to let go. What do? They pull, and only pull stronger. I would think that I would find that horrible. I would never, ever tether a cat.
So that is not on the list of
No.
alternatives.
No. No. Absolutely. Cats are, they call them scaredy cats, but it works in their favor. They're supposed to be scared. They're preyed upon. Not only are they predators, but they are preyed upon. And so, no, I can't ever imagine tethering a cat.
Makes sense. So we've talked a lot about the importance of letting your cat experience the outdoors. Now, for some people who might live in a city, like you said, or an apartment, or I mean, even those of us who just can't let our cats out, even on a harness and leash or whatever on a regular basis, we rely on a lot of indoor enrichment and making sure our cats are mentally and physically stimulated indoors. What are some of your favorite indoor enrichment activities for cats?
Well, the first thing I tell everybody is indoor only kitties are high maintenance. It is super high maintenance to keep them entertained, to take care of an indoor only kitty. It's hard. I wake up every day and I go, oh, what can I do different today? They need something novel. They need something new. So we'll go back to the fresh air, sunshine, and grass. Open windows. That's everybody can do. And everybody who opens up a window, the cat will be in that window within 2 seconds. They love smelling outside. They love it. Cats have to feel differences in temperature. We're messing around with their fur and their skin. For the most part, in the wintertime, they build up coats and then they blow them in the summer. And think about your indoor environment. In the winter, we have the heat on, and in the summer, we have the air conditioning on. So we're really doing things right there, right on the top with their integument. So opening windows, that's great. And you can change the day, because one day you open up the windows to the front of the house. The next day you open up the windows to the back of the house. You open up a side window. You can do things like, we all have closets that are shut, the doors are shut to the closet. Open a closet one day. Let them explore in there.
The forbidden closed door.
Yes. I'm up here in my bonus room, and I have an attic off of here, and the cats love going in the attic and exploring. If I had the door open to the attic every day, it wouldn't be really cool. But if you open it once or twice a week, it's like, ooh, what's new in there?
Yeah. For us, we have an unfinished basement, and the cats aren't normally allowed down there. But every now and then, open the door and they run right down those stairs, and then they're down there forever, just exploring all the nooks and crannies and all of that. They have the best time down there.
Exactly. It just takes a lot of thought process to wake up and kind of say, what can I do today? What new toy can I bring out? What new game can we do? Where can I move the box around? Throw a sheet over the cocktail table and create a tent.
Hmm.
Like, the book is chock full of ideas. So, I mean, there's hundreds of them. Even with that, I still struggle, but every day I'm able to find something that I can do that's just a little bit different for my cats. As far as direct sunlight, nowadays with houses so close to each other and so on, I drive out of my neighborhood and the majority of homes, their blinds are shut, their
Yeah.
curtains are closed. They don't want people looking in. And I know there's cats inside of those homes. Open the blinds, open the curtains, let them get sunlight, not just that one ray that comes in on that one room, but maybe some other windows in other rooms. Um, I feel like once cat owners start realizing that their cats are in four walls and it really is boring and it really is unenriched, that all it takes is just that little shift in mindset and and the opportunities just start exploding. um, I feel like the majority of cats enjoy eating grass. I think it's a necessary part of their health. And that's another thing that indoor cats don't have any exposure to. So I grow grass for my cats 24/7. They have access to grass. Sometimes, if I forget or our routine is off, I go outside and I pick it and just
Hmm.
bring it in as a little bouquet and give them the grass to eat. So thinking about outdoors and bringing outdoors indoors. Go pick up a limb off out of your yard, a branch, some leaves, bring it in, let them smell it, let them experience it. Smell is very important to cats. And so giving them a variety of different things, scent enrichment is easy. When you bring your mail in, drop it on the floor, drop that junk mail on the floor,
Hmm.
let them smell it. Um, so again, just thinking outdoor, bring everything in indoor. Um, So we could talk all night about enrichment
Yeah, well,
and all the different things to do.
what I love about all the ideas that you shared so far is that none of them cost a single thing.
Mm-mm. No, no. Cats are high maintenance, but low cost.
Yeah,
I mean, think about the things that they like to do outside. They don't cost anything.
yeah, yeah. I mean, there certainly are things we can buy. Like I have puzzle feeders and all kinds
Mhm.
of enrichment toys. And I know with Desi and Rue, you create and make all these really cool enrichment toys. But it is so great to know that it's not necessary, right? We can
Mm.
find plenty of things to enrich their lives that don't cost us a penny.
Exactly. Exactly. Everybody knows how much cats love boxes, but it's so easy to take a box and not just set it down, but turn it over and cut a hole in it and let them go
Mhm.
in that way. And then, maybe even build a box on top of another or put a box up on a table or move the box to a different room.
Yeah,
It just takes that mindset. Like I said, if people just start waking up every day and saying, what can I do for my cat new today? Just one little thing.
yeah.
And look around the house, you'll kind of find a lot of them.
Yeah, yeah, I like the boxes. So one year, it's been a couple years now, but one year my husband and I collected like all the boxes from deliveries, like Chewy boxes, Amazon boxes. We had a whole castle. We built a
Mhm.
whole castle out of our boxes. We like cut
How cool.
tunnels and had it was like multiple floors and had it in the corner of our living room and we kept it up. The cats eventually lost interest in it. Like you
Mhm.
said, it eventually becomes old news and not interesting,
Right.
but for a while, that kept him pretty entertained, and it
Mhm.
didn't cost us anything. I just had to use some packaging tape to tape things together, and it was a fun project for us, and the cats
Right.
loved it.
Exactly. Brown paper. cats love paper. And so start throwing sheets of paper around the house. They'll be like, what? Which one do I sit on? It isn't difficult. It's the mindset of having a 2-year-old child. And people who have children know to open up the Tupperware and the pots and pans, and it just is looking for ways to keep them entertained.
Yeah. Yeah, well, for those who are watching with us, I would definitely be interested to hear what are your little tricks for
Mm-hmm.
keeping your cats entertained when they're inside and you're not able to take them out. What are your cat's favorite little enrichment activities?
I'd love to hear them too. I'm
Yeah.
always looking for more myself.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll keep my eye on the comments.
Okay.
But Lynn, we've mentioned your company, Desi and Rue, and your book. Can tell us a little bit more about both of those things.
I'll tell you a little bit about the book, which was written during the pandemic. Here's a picture of it. And it is the type of book that you could just open it up to any page whatsoever. It's not a read cover to cover book. And what I put in the book was everything that I want cat owners to know. When I'm in the exam room and somebody has their brand new kitten, like I just want to spend all day with them to tell them everything that they need to know. So that was what the book was about. We talk about food and how to feed them, and enrichment ideas, also the indoor-outdoor dilemma, and declawing, which is a big platform of mine. I'm very anti-declaw. Proud to say I've never done one in my career. That is the other harmful thing that has been done to cats with this indoor only issue.
Yes.
Veterinarian said, keep your cats inside. And now that they're inside, let's chop off their toes.
I'm impressed that as long as you've been a veterinarian, and that practice is only now recently becoming not acceptable. I'm surprised you've made it through without having done one. Round of applause on that, Lynn. That's
Thank
amazing.
you. I refused to do it when I was in vet school and had to go round and round with my professors on it.
Wow.
Thought that I might not graduate because of it, but
Oh my gosh.
no, it's wrong. It is beyond wrong. It is cruel. It's inhumane, and the poor cats who not only are they indoors in unenriched environments, but then they lose all their toes and are in pain for the rest of their life. It is, again, the indoor issue. A lot of cats do need to be kept indoors, but we need to take the extra effort to really counsel those owners on how to keep them happy and healthy indoors. It's just gone from one extreme to the other, and I think it's really harmful to cats overall. And I'm glad you have me on the show to talk about it. So thank you.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to have you. And we have some comments coming in from people about their fun ideas. So Terry says that they occasionally turn their
That's
indoor cat tree on
great.
its side for a few hours and it becomes an instant item of interest. That's such
Yes.
a good idea to take something that is there every day for them and just turn it around, flip it
Yeah.
over, and it instantly is different and new. Sandra says that Nimbus and Lacey are good at playing together. We do training sessions twice a day. She teaches Nimbus new tricks from time to time, and he also enjoys skateboarding in the kitchen.
I love it. That reminds me, throw an ice cube on the floor in the kitchen.
Yeah.
That's another free enjoyment, entertaining way to keep your cat active. Think about ourselves. If we were in a prison cell, anything new, no matter what it is, would be a welcome addition.
Mm-hmm.
And so the same with turning that cat tree over. That's a wonderful idea because it's new.
Mm-hmm.
It's different. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, what's this? Let me
Yeah.
explore. What happened? Like that's wonderful.
Yeah. Yep. Sandra also says that she takes them out in the stroller and leash to a park once a week and around the neighborhood.
That's
That's
great.
awesome.
That's
And
great.
then Sonia says that her cat Percy loves playing Where's the Treat, and she hides treats and he has to find them using his nose.
I love that. So scent enrichment is extremely important. Probably one of the highest on my list. A cat's world is all about smell. You know, when they're born, from the very first hour, they have to smell out the mom's teat.
Mhm.
And so their eyes are closed, their ears are closed. They live their first 2 weeks of life completely on smell. And too many people don't realize that. So, scent enrichment, hiding treats, hiding any sort of scented. I sell silver vine, and so you can sprinkle that on toys and do the same thing. Put it like behind the cushion of the couch or underneath the chair, and let them root it out. Like I said, just throw anything on the floor. When you bring your grocery bags in, put them on the floor first. Let your cat sniff them out. Um, Things like that. But using scent enrichment, hiding treats, toys, valerian, silvervine, catnip, vary it up. Again, bring branches in from outside, bring leaves in from outside. Those are wonderful ways to enrich.
Yeah. So I know it's such a common misconception that cats are low maintenance animals, right? I mean, you've mentioned so many times tonight that they're high maintenance, right? And I mean, we all
Mhm.
probably here tonight know that because we have cats and every day you're having to entertain them and make sure that we're meeting all of their needs.
Right.
But still so many people think, "Oh, I'm gonna get a cat because I don't have the time or whatever for a dog." And cats, I can just get them,
Mhm.
down a bowl of food, and put down a couple toys, and that's it. Why is that a bad idea? Like, what you've mentioned the health
Mhm.
concerns, right? Was it directly related?
Absolutely. So, again, in the old days, cats were low maintenance. They went outside. You know,
Mhm.
they entertained themselves. They came in to eat and sleep, and they let you pet them, and they might have slept in bed with you, and that was all you had to do. And
Yeah.
those cats didn't need more from you. They were outside exploring all day. They were eating the grass that they wanted. They were lounging in the sun. They were climbing trees or walking on fences and exploring the neighborhood. Those cats are low maintenance. That's a wonderful life for a cat. If they're indoor only, the high maintenance comes from keeping them enriched and
Yeah.
finding all the different ways to keep them enriched. Unenriched cats, you can pick them out easily. They're overweight,
Mhm.
they're quite obese, they don't play. So many owners tell me my cats don't play. They are so depressed and
Mhm.
bored. And what do depressed people do? They sleep all day.
Yeah.
We address that in the book as well. They say cats sleep 20 hours a day. They don't. Bored and enriched cats living in a four walls, they sleep 20 hours a day. Cats that go outside, not at all. They're out exploring. If they're relaxing, they're not sleeping, they're just very lightly catnapping. That is, a natural cat, a real cat is out there hunting. They have to have food and they eat 10 to 20 times a day. How can they eat 10 to 20 times a day and hunt and still sleep 20 hours a day? They don't. It's our indoor cats that do. So, cats that don't play, cats that sleep all day, cats that are obese, cats who have really poor fur. Those are our low maintenance, unenriched cats that are
Mhm.
living extremely unhappy lives, and we see them a lot in the vet office for pancreatitis and cystitis and stomatitis and inflammatory bowel disease and all kinds of things.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's interesting because that is how people typically think of cats, right? As,
Mhm,
"Oh, I have a cat and it sleeps all day and it's fat and happy," right?
mhm, mhm. And that's another myth.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I,
We've been depressing today.
well, no, I mean, it's important. It's
Get them
important
out, leash
stuff,
walk
and
them, harness train them. I think one of the best things, the newest thing to come out of all this, though, that's really exciting to me that was not around 5 years ago, 10 years ago, is clicker training.
mm,
Because that is absolutely, it's using their brain, it's interacting with the pet parent and the cat, it's keeping them stimulated, it's building that bond. So I have really become a great fan of clicker training. I think that it's something everybody can do. Go onto YouTube, you see a million videos on how to do it.
mhm.
There's all types of resources. It doesn't cost anything, and it is a wonderful way to keep a cat enriched indoors.
Yeah, yeah. There are so many easy ways, for us to
Mm-hmm.
all keep our cats indoors. There's really no excuse to have that bored cat that
Mm-hmm.
sleeps 20 hours a day. Because even if, a lot of people say, well, I'm too busy, I work a lot. And I mean, I do too. So I mean, I understand. But
Mm-hmm.
flipping a cat tree over on its side takes what? A
Exactly.
second of your time, and so there are all these little ways that even if you're really busy, you
Mm-hmm.
can you can find ways to play with your cat and keep them entertained and enriched.
Yes. And also start thinking in ways of letting them out and looking at your environment and saying, you know what, my cat probably could go outside in my house, in this neighborhood, in this area, or on a leash or on a harness or on a stroller, or putting in the cat fence, or just putting netting on your deck.
Mhm.
Or going outside and with treats, keeping your cat next to you, taking a chair out there, reading a book, and having them close by. I really, really would love to encourage people to throw out that I have to keep my cat indoor only. It's not for everyone.
Yeah, and I mean, as you've mentioned, there are so many ways to let your cat experience the outside, no
Mm-hmm.
matter what kind of environment you live in. Even if you do live in an apartment, I know people who have taken like their balconies and or their porches on their because
Mm-hmm.
most apartments have some sort of even if it's small, most of them have a little outdoor patio space and you can take netting and put it so your cat can't like
Absolutely.
jump over the railing or whatever and your cat has a little outdoor space that they
Mm-hmm.
can enjoy.
Yeah. My son has a kitten that he adopted this year, and he lives in an apartment and he's up on the top floor. And so I have him taking her in the stairwell. Most people, he's way up high. Most people are not on the stairwell. And even if they are, all the doors are closed.
Mhm.
So it's not like she can really go far. And he takes one of our wiggly balls and throws it down in the stairwell. And he lets her investigate up and down there. We've worked on clicker training. So she comes back when he calls her. I mean, he's with her, but like, if she starts going down a couple of flights or whatever, but she gets to investigate that, at least get out of the apartment itself,
Mhm.
as well as the hallways. It doesn't even have to be out.
Yeah.
It can be
Just a different
enclosed out.
environment, just a new
Yes.
environment.
Get out of those four walls.
Yeah. Yeah. This has been, a very enlightening discussion, I think, I always enjoy talking about this, and I appreciate you sharing all of your thoughts and opinions. Lynn, where can people find you online if they have another question they wanna follow up with you about, or they wanna know more about what you do?
So my company is Desi and Rue, and you can go to desirue.com. There's a contact page there. It's info@desirue.com, and that will come directly to me, and I'd be happy to answer any of your questions. Reach out to me. My goal is to help pet owners strengthen that bond with their cats and keep them happy and healthy. And I just want to thank you for doing what you do, and that's encouraging people to leash train and harness their cat and get them outside. You're providing a huge service, and you're making cats' lives better.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I am grateful to the amazing community of people that I
Mhm.
have that are doing that with me. And it really is a wonderful thing. Again, Lynn, thank you so much for taking the time to share your knowledge with us and just being here tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for having me and letting me voice all of this out. I hope I didn't, I wasn't a Debbie Downer to too many people.
No, not at all. I think, you shared so many great ideas for people and spreading awareness and
Mhm.
getting the mission out, that's our goal, right?
It is.
Are you enjoying the Kitty Cat Go Adventure podcast? Let me know by leaving a review. This will help others to find it and hopefully be inspired to get out there, try new things, and go new places with their cat. What questions do you have about adventuring with cats? Or maybe you'd just like to chat with me about what you learned in this episode. Find me on Instagram at kittycatgoadventures. You can also screenshot this episode and tag me in your stories so I can see who is listening. I'd love to continue the conversation with you, so find me on Instagram or join our Facebook group, Kitty Cat Go Adventure Team, so you can connect with a whole community of fellow cat adventurers. And as always, you can find the show notes, including all links and resources discussed in this episode at kittycatgo.com/podcast. Until next time, happy adventuring.